Hi, today's topic is the coordinate plane. So we start with the plane and I'll tell you how we coordinatize the plane. You will recognize that this horizontal line is a usual number line, and I take this number line and I rotate it 90 degrees, and then you get this line, also a number line, but this time it's vertical. So these two lines, when you can also extend them, I have not put any numbers on this side, but if you simply extend them, you can see that this whole plane is divided up into four parts. This part, this part, this part, and this part. For today, we'll only be discussing about points in this space. This space is called the first quadrant. We will limit our discussion to the first quadrant. And we will also not worry about numbers here or numbers here. So once again, here's your number line that you're used to. I keep that number line, and I also create another copy by taking this and rotating it 90 degrees, and I get this number line. So numbers increase in this way and numbers increase in this way as we go upwards. So I want to give you some terminology. This horizontal line, the number line that you're used to, is called the x-axis. This vertical number line is called the y-axis. Together, we can call them the coordinate axes. This is the plural. And now I want to tell you what is the purpose of these two x-axis and y-axis together. So here's what they do for us. On the number line, recall we said every point is a number. And then we went ahead and discussed some points whose names we do know. We know the name of this point, it's 1. We know the name of this point, it's 2. And we also discussed some other points whose names you know are fractions. So now what we do out here is a similar discussion. In the first quadrant, we look at various points. So let me take a point. I'm going to pick this point out here. Okay. I would like to give a name to that point. And here's how we name it. We look at this point and we draw a vertical line. By a vertical line, I mean a line that's parallel to the y-axis. So I draw a vertical line and I'll put a dotted line here for you. And make that line intersect the x-axis. Similarly, I draw a horizontal line through this point and I make it intersect the y-axis in that manner. And notice the numbers on the intersections. On the x-axis, this vertical line intersects this x-axis at 3. This horizontal line intersects the y-axis at 2. I pick up those numbers in this particular order. I first pick up this number, the point on the x-axis, which is 3. I put a comma and I pick up this number that's on the y-axis and I write it there. So this notation is the name of this point. Let's pay attention. We start with the parentheses, end with the parentheses. The first number is the number you get when you look at the point and draw a vertical line and allow the vertical line to intersect the x-axis, and it's that point. To get just this point, we look at the point given, draw a horizontal line, let the line intersect the y-axis, and the number you see there is what I put out here, 2. This 3 is called the x-coordinate of the point, and the number 2 is called the y-coordinate of the point. So these are the coordinates of this point relative to this coordinate system that we have set up. That means we start out with an x-axis and a y-axis. that we create in the manner I described, and relative to that we can give a name to every point in this first quadrant that we're focusing on. Because the order of the numbers is important, we call this an ordered pair. Pair because we have two numbers. Ordered because we really need to pay attention to the order in which we write these two numbers. You get the first number by looking at a point, drawing a vertical line, and wherever that vertical line meets the x-axis, you read off that number, and that's what goes in this first spot, comma. And similar manner, you look at this point, draw a horizontal line, allow it to intersect the y-axis, and whatever number you see there, that's the second number. So we can repeat that process for any point in this first quadrant. So I have a point P here. To find out what's the ordered pair name of that point, what I do is I draw a vertical line through this point. Vertical line is a line that's parallel to the y-axis. Allow that line to intersect the x-axis. I don't exactly know what number that is. Some number between 2 and 3. So I just write A there. And similarly from here, I draw a horizontal line, which is a line parallel to the x-axis. Allow that line to meet the y-axis, and whatever that number is, let's just say B for now. And so this A and B together give us a name for the point. And this is the notation for it. O starts with the parentheses, ends with the parentheses. The first number that you see here is this number, and it's called the x-coordinate. The second number that you see here is called the y-coordinate, and it is this number. Now, there are some points that we want to pay some attention to. This point that's at the intersection of x-axis and y-axis, what is its name? Firstly, that point is called the origin. What is its name? If you repeat the same procedure, and from this line, if we draw a vertical and horizontal line and make it meet at the x-axis and y-axis, then what we get is that such a line would meet the x-axis at 0 on this number line, and at 0 on this number line. So the name of the origin is 0, 0. So let's look at some points on this number line. Let's look at this point. If you're only focusing on this number line, we know that point's name is 4. But if you view this red point as a point in this first quadrant, as a point that belongs to your plane, then we should be able to name it in this manner by an ordered pair. What is such a name? Well, such a name, starts and ends with a parentheses, and there's a comma in between. So what goes in here? Well, from this point, draw a vertical line and allow the vertical line to meet the x-axis. If we do so, we actually get 4. So 4 goes in here. And now, from that point, draw a horizontal line. That would be this. I won't draw it. And allow that line to meet the y-axis. As you can see, if I draw a horizontal line, it would meet the y-axis at this point, and that is the 0 of this number line. So that point is 0. So one observation you can make is every point on the x-axis, if you view it as a point on a plane and if you give it an ordered pair name, the second number will always be 0. The y-coordinate of every point on the x-axis will always be 0. You can draw a similar conclusion about points on the y-axis. So if you pick this point, convince yourself its name is 0, 3. If you view it as a point on the plane, the ordered pair name of this point is 0, 3. And in another video, we'll continue our discussion where I'll give you the coordinates and then we will try to plot the point on the coordinate plane. Thank you.